I'm back. Make one more video before I take off. I feel like I've talked about 160, 147, so I'm like, why not? Let's talk about 154 real quick. You got Jared Swift. Oh, excuse me, Swift Jared Hurd versus Tony Bad Harrison. That's actually, or not Tony Bad Harrison, versus Julian J Rock Williams. That's going to be happening soon. I think Jared Hurd is from the DMV, so I think the venue is going to be around there. I also think Gary Russell is going to be on the undercard, so he'll probably fight. That new mandatory. He fought on Keith Thurman Lopez undercard. Forgot the kid's name because I know he's the mandatory now. He's like from Uzbekistan or something, or Mongolia. Excuse me. He beat Claudio Moreno. Um, I think that's the mandatory. Yeah, not Claudio Moreno, but the kid who beat him. That actually wasn't a half bad fight. It seems like Gary Russell's stuck with fighting either mandatories and or prospects that are good enough to become mandatories. Seems like Gary Russell's been stuck with that. I hope they force Gary Russell versus Leo Santa Cruz. I keep hearing Leo talk about Tank and not enough about Gary Russell. So Gary Russell might have to get on his Reagandow and go ham on Leo Santa Cruz's social media. I know that's not some fighter style. Some fighters are more low key, but if you really want the big fights, you gotta kind of force it to happen. Especially when the A side or fan favorite fighter doesn't seem like they want it. I think Rigo versus Loma really happened because Rigo was talking, so much shit on Lomachenko's social media, and Lomachenko's fans were like, "Man, you got to shut this dude up." So I feel like Gary Russell kind of has to get that. Otherwise, he's never going to get a big fight. Um, yeah, that's just what it is. Because Oscar Valdez, he's on ESPN. Josh Warrington, he's with Frank Warren and what is it, Box Nation and ESPN Plus. So half the champions in that division are on ESPN and whatnot. So the only champion you got left is Leo Santa Cruz, and that fight is ready made. I think it would be big. Put it in Vegas or not California. That'd be too much of a favorite for Leo. I don't think they should put it in the East Coast. Too much favorite for Gary Russell. So maybe Vegas would probably make sense. But I think Gary Russell's gonna have to force that issue. Even I know it's not his lane, but he might have to if he really wants it. But back to what I was saying about 154. Lara just fought Castano a couple weeks ago. Thought Lara won, but Lara kind of left it to be desired the last couple of rounds. Kind of took his foot off the gas. I don't know why Lara does that a lot. You could even argue the Canelo fight was kind of like that. Uh, Not so much the Jared Hurd fight. Jared Hurd made him fight. He did good in the end against Angulo. That was instant classic. But I hope Lara and Castano have a rematch. I thought Lara should have got the net edge, but I really wasn't mad at the draw. Castano was definitely busy. He fought Earl Spence in the amateurs, they said. I know Omar Figueroa fought. I guess Earl Spence in the amateurs must struggle with volume guys. Because he lost to Omar Figueroa and he lost to Castano. They're both, as pros, volume guys. So I wonder in the amateurs, volume. I'm curious if that still may plague him now, volume guys. So, just, maybe, a little fruit for thought for the future for styles that actually may give Earl trouble. But to stick with 154, if Jared Hurd takes care of business versus J Rock, which I don't think is a gimme fight, I like J Rock. He can box. I think he has decent power. He's a good athlete. I think what got him in trouble with Charlo was that he stood in the pocket too long. If he does that again with Hurd, it's going to be probably the same result. He might get stopped. So, it's tough fighting a good pressure fighter who's you know athletic enough to cut the ring, kind of like you know Black Margarito is kind of what he's being coined as. Um, Very good punch variety. Something I think the Charlos and Deontay Wilder should actually take a look into in learning how to verify their punches. You know, not just throw you know the jab and then power right hands only. Um, you know, I know Jared Hurd has a lot of deficiencies, but his punch variation is on point. Um, I'll probably take him to beat J Rock, uh, probably by stoppage, probably late too. You know, typical Jared Hurd fight. Um, but then I'm curious what he'll do if Tony Harrison beats Charlo again. You know, because to me, from what I saw from the first fight, I would say Tony Harrison is the better, not the better, but I think he's more fundamentally disciplined than Jermell. Jermell's a good boxer too, but I think Tony Harrison's just more disciplined as a boxer. Stylistically, they match well because they're mirrors of each other. They do a lot of similar things well. They both got good jabs. They both got good rights. Both can box. Both can counter. Both athletic. I think they're both under 30. You know, both 5'11 plus. So they match up well. They're very evenly matched. I think for Jermell, even though I thought Jermell won the first fight based on consistency, not kind of it kind of reminded me a little bit of Triple G Canelo one, where the guy that was doing the pressure fighter wasn't necessarily landing the best punches, but he was more consistent in his game plan, whereas Tony Harrison and Canelo showed to be probably the better boxer, but they were kind of fighting in spurts, so they weren't consistent. So whatever work, even though they might have done better work, it wasn't consistent. So it's like in a job, which coworker would you rather have? The one that's there every day, all the time, and does solid work, or do you take the coworker when he's there, he's great, but he's not always there. He or she's not always there. So, um, kind of rather be with a coworker that they're going to show up and they're going to do solid. Maybe not the best, but they're going to do solid. So, I felt like Triple G Charlo against Harrison was kind of like that, where I don't think Charlo did the better work, but I thought it was more consistent. And he hurt Tony Harrison a couple of times, especially in that 12th round. Although Tony did catch him in those mid rounds with that nice counter right. So um, they haven't officially announced it, so I won't make a prediction yet. But I do like the fight. I think it's a good fight. I like both fighters. Um, there is some luster lost with Jared Hurd versus Charlo because Charlo took that loss. So I can tell Jared Hurd was kind of disappointed when it happened. He was like, "Damn, like that was supposed to be me that take this L." So we'll see if Harrison beats Charlo. I don't know if Hurd would want the rematch with Harrison because he's like, "I already stopped you. That's how I got the belt, the first belt." So I don't know, but Harrison might have got better. Clearly beating Charlo twice and Ishe Smith. He has experience with Willie Nelson. So I don't know. 154 is kind of top heavy, but it's not a bad division. I like Jaime Munguia. Golden Boy's pushing him. I think he'll probably move up to 160 soon too. He's a big kid. I think he's only like 22. Still kind of green, but I like the way they're moving him. Just get active, fight some decent bodies. He'll probably move up at the end of the year. He said he's down to fight Andrade or whatever, so maybe that's a fight you can build up if Triple G ducks that smoke. So we'll see what happens. There's 154 is, like I said, it's a little top heavy, but at the moment, Charlo, Harrison, Hurd, J. Rob, Lubin's coming back strong. Munguia's still there for now. Who else? Castano, Lara, they're probably going to rematch. But Sergio Garcia, he just beat Ted Cheeseman. These UK dudes got to work. I don't know. Those names are kind of weird. Garcia's not half bad though, so maybe he might fight Jaime Munguia next. Mexico versus Spain. So we'll see what happens. Like I said, 154 is kind of top heavy, but still some solid fights. Like I said, Lara Castano rematch. Got J Rock versus Hurd next. Charlo Harrison too is probably going to happen. Maybe Munguia versus Garcia. Kell Brook is still there, so I don't know what he's gonna do. He's kind of stuck. He's kind of too big for 147, but 154. I don't think he's good enough to beat those. Not that he's not good, but that Triple G fight really, to me, kind of just threw his career kind of off course. So he's kind of all over the place. Khan won't fight him, so I don't know what Kell Brook's gonna do. Maybe he fights Sergio Garcia. I think even though I think he's better than Munguia, he might be too small. You know, I don't know. I kind of felt bad for Kell Brook. Even I mean, it's his fault, but you don't want to see a fighter's career ruined for one decision. But that one decision can mean worth 20. So we'll see what happens at 154. Definitely stay tuned, but I think 154 at the end of the year probably could get some closer. Porter struggled to make weight in his last fight, so don't be shocked if probably if he fights Earl or Keith Thurman. Probably after those fights, don't be shocked if he moves up. Danny Garcia's flirted with moving up to 154. I don't know why. He's not. I don't think his power would carry very well at 154, and he's a solid sized welterweight, but 154, I don't see it. Keith, I don't see it at 154. So I don't know what's going to happen to 154 within, if I'm projecting for the next 2-3 years. Right now, it's fine, but we'll see what happens in the next couple of years. Just have to see. But other than that, stay tuned. Let me know what you guys think about the 154-pound division stuck between welterweight and middleweight, which are, the hot divisions. And then 154 is kind of top heavy. But let me know what you guys think about those divisions. Let me know what you think about possible fights in the future. Maybe Earl Spence avenges his amateur loss in the future. That's all kind of future stuff. But, just let me know what you guys think in general. Your thoughts on DAZN, Showtime, Fox, ESPN. 2019's looking solid. But we'll have to wait and see. A big weekend coming up. So, general thoughts, subscribe, like, dislike, comment, do what you will. But other than that, have a good day. Other than that, I'm out.